again. Hopefully my frames don't tank for no damn reason. So, once again, welcome everybody. Dan here, aka Red Comet 216. And wow, frame rate's already tanking. It's actually kind of shitty. Oh well, we're just gonna roll with it. Fuck, this is terrible. I don't even know what's happening. Anyways, just go over the promos real quick. They're in the links are in the chat, of course. The Gathering Place. Our buddy Corey Wimberly is running a fundraiser for them. It's a foundation that helps people battling cancer get the help and support they need that they might not necessarily be able to afford for themselves. So that's really important. Be sure to check that out. Donate if possible. I did. So important. Next up is Immortals Inc. Gaming store like no other. They got Warhammer, BattleTech, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, D&D, so much D&D stuff. So many board games. It's ridiculous. The link in chat will take you to their YouTube channel, where they have a lot of demos of games and conventions they cover, news, special events, stuff like that. And it's really cool. It's not just a game store. They have plenty of space available for people to come in and play games, whatever you want. They run events all the time, pre-orders and unboxings, stuff like that. And they have a private rentable gaming room, the Rusty Dragon Inn, where if you watch our last werewolf video, that's where we shot it. Really cool, really worth checking out. So be sure to do that next time you're in Rocky River, Greater Cleveland metropolitan area. Immortals Inc. for all your gaming needs. And last and certainly not least is our buddy Ryan Farrell, bass player from Mushroom Head. Recently released this Sinister Miniatures, 13 short preludes for piano. Dive into the creepy and fantastical world of Ryan Farrell's Sinister Miniatures, 13 horror and sci-fi themed preludes for piano, complete with accompanying artwork, an exhibition of all things strange and unusual, presented in this unique format. Great for beginner to intermediate students, fun for musicians of every level. You get your very own copy at his website, ryanfarrellartist.com. Link is also in chat. And now this is really cool. What this is, it's just sheet music. Like it says, just preludes for the piano. Sheet music and artwork that he himself has done. And it's really good stuff. I wish I played piano. Unfortunately, I don't. But the artwork I find really cool. And I absolutely support local musicians. Especially ones from one of my favorite bands, like Mushroom Head. And plus, really cool thing is my copy is autographed. So, hell yeah. Thank you again, Ryan, for signing that. Thank you, Jimmy, for getting me that. Sinister Miniatures. Check it out. Also, be sure to check out Mushroom Head, too. If you're into metal, industrial, creepy awesomeness. Good stuff. So, all right, that is enough of that. Yeah, before my frame rate completely tanks or anything like that, let's just get right into it, huh? So, here, let me change the scene. Boom. Excuse me. Boom. There we go. So, Cyberpunk 2020. A classic role-playing game of the dark future. I've wanted to play this for so long. Oh, there we go. And I've just never been able to. Never been able to get the group together for it. Anybody that wanted to run it, everybody's afraid of how crunchy it is and all that. Well, I say fuck that. I'm just gonna learn the damn thing myself and run it and play it and whatever. So part of that is obviously making your character. This is the bit that I am comfortable with so far. I have not played a game yet. I'm working on my own personal character, D-Man. I'll tell you a little bit about him in a little bit, but I'm not going to show the character sheet off until he's complete. I'm still playing around with it. But what we are going to do is make a brand new character from scratch, which should be pretty exciting. Now, I'm not going to actually get into like getting cyberware and all that installed. I'm going to go over making your character, the life path, developing your history and going through your skills, and then we'll talk a little bit in general about your gear, your weapons, and then again, we'll talk generally about your cyberware, because your cyberware, your neuroware, your bioware, fashionware, we'll get into all that and briefly touch on it, but that's it's worth making a separate video just for those things. And honestly, they're so personal to your character that I think, if I give a good enough general overlay of what you got to look for and how it works, you need to get the book and figure out your cyberware and what kind, your weapon loadout and all that stuff yourself. It's very personal. That's how I feel, at least. But, I'm weird. It is what it is. So, and as I go through and get more comfortable at more facets of the game, I think I might keep making these tutorial type videos. It's to teach you as much as it is to, help me practice and solidify what I know and give the community a chance to respond. Maybe you'll catch something I'm doing wrong, or maybe you got a better way to do something. Feel free to chime in. Please do. So, but yeah, without further ado, I haven't even really thought about the character we're going to make yet. Let's just do it, right? Oh. So, first up, well, here you can see I got. I myself did not make this. But yeah, this is someone made a fillable PDF version. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Fillable PDF version of the official original Cyberpunk 2020 character sheet. So that's what we're going to be working with for the purposes of this video. I think it's really cool. I think I should learn how to do this myself, just as a skill. That would be good to have. Translate to other games and stuff like that. I don't see why it would be that difficult either. But anyways, handle, we're going to call him Jack Napier. Smiling Jack Napier. Screw it. We're going to have him be a solo. Excuse me. All right. Now, let me show you a little bit. Talking about solos. So the first thing you do after your handle, you want to figure out what role you're going to be. Kind of archetype, if you will. So going through the book here, first up is Rocker Boys. You know, that's your rock star. It's your Johnny Silverhand type character. Able to rile up the masses and start riots and stuff like that. And you got your solos. That's your Morgan Blackhand or your Atom Smasher. He's an extreme example. He's full board kind of in his own category, but I think he qualifies as a solo, to my understanding at least. They're hired assassins, bodyguards, killers, soldiers, up to and including one-man armies, like Atom Smasher. Fuck. Next up, you got your net runners. That's the hackers. Now, my own personal character, D-Man, he's a net runner. He's what I call a combat hacker. So he's actually going to be with the group, you know, able to shoot and engage with the whole team and all that. But he's there going to be like opening doors, unlocking doors, overriding alarms, and hacking local servers, disabling security measures, stuff like that. It'll be really cool if he doesn't die first. Next up, you got your techies. These are your mechanics, your doctors, drone operators. Really cool stuff. Really cool stuff. Tinkerers. And you got your medias, newsmen and reporters. These are your investigator type characters that aren't necessarily cops or like private detectives, you know. Next up, you got your cops. Cop's a cop. What else can you say? Right? And then you got your corpos. Slick business raiders and multi-millionaires. The rich assholes calling the shots, trying to run things behind the scenes, grabbing up every little bit of power for themselves, and getting everybody else to do the dirty work for them. Fuck corpos, by the way. And then you got your fixers, your deal makers, your smugglers, organizers, and information brokers. Every good group, every good runner needs to at least know a fixer. Can't work without them, right? And then you got your nomads, road warriors, and gypsies who roam the highways. And these are your rebels. They have more hands-on skill sets. So, and they work in very close-knit families generally. Yeah, you know, it's more of a tribe, but they call themselves families. And they generally just roam in crammed in a huge ragtag fleet of cars, vans, buses, and RVs. Your nomad pack roams the freeways, looks for supplies, odd jobs, spare parts, in a world where society has fragmented. So that's some really interesting gameplay there too. All right. So first up, is we need to figure out the stats. Now, if you read the book, it will give you 3 ways to figure out your starting stats. Way number 1 is random. Roll 9d10 and total them. Add them together. This is how many character points you have. Distribute them between your stats as you will. simple, basic, right? Good for min-maxing type players and full character customization. It's probably good for some groups, but that's not what we did. What my group is doing is what? Jeez. We are doing the fast way. So you roll 1d10 for each stat, 9 in all, re-rolling any scores of 2 or less. So let me show you. This is what we did. What was it? 1d10, re-rolling 2s or under. Let's get some light on. Ugh. Too much light. I don't need it. You do. So we got a cup here. We got not D10s. This is the D10s. Dice bags for days. Let's pick. There we go. Red comet, red die. Alright, so first up, intelligence. It's 6. Okay. Not a complete and total moron. Next up, reflexes. 3. Alright. Not the best, but not the worst. Could up that with cyberware later on, probably. Or balance that out with cyberware, rather. Next up is technical ability, or tech. That's just your general ability to use technology. 4. And we have cool. It is just how cool you are. That's a 1, so we re-roll. Not very cool. 10. Wow, he's the coolest. Alright. Attractiveness. Let's see how sexy he is. 1. Re-roll it. 5. Okay. Luck. Luck is pretty self-explanatory. 4. Nope. His attractiveness is 54. Now, this is movement ability. How, this is your agility. This is agility. 10. Okay. Kind of intimidating and weird. Fits, right? And now we got his body rating. Just wow. Ugh. I didn't even see what that was. But yeah. How much of a beating you can take. 3. Not much. That's alright. We'll have him wear armor. And his empathy. This should be fucking 0. Seven, actually. Which is good. Because he's actually going to need cyberware. Which is going to require empathy. We'll talk about that soon. Don't mind me. That was a candle. So this die has some wax on it now. That's fine. I didn't have a better cup to use. Okay. All right, now we got those the base stats figured out. Now you notice here we got run, leap, and lift. So let's go over that. To determine how far your character can run in a single combat round, it's about 3.2 seconds in meters. You multiply your MA by 3. The character can run 3 times this distance in a full 10-second turn. Write this in the run section of your hard copy form. So, run, or his MA is 10. So you multiply that by 3. 30. Boom. Okay. Determine how far your character can leap from a running start. Divide your run by 4. So, 30 divided by 4 is weird. So we'll use a handy-dandy calculator. Divided by 4 is 7.5. I always like to round up. That's just the me thing. So we'll call it 8. What it is I want my players to be able to do what they want to do, because when I'm playing, I want to be able to do what I want to do. So it's kind of my way of giving them like home field advantage. I don't know if that makes any kind of sense or not, but it does to me. And that's all that matters. All right, now lift. Let's see. Where was that at? Okay, right. We'll get into it. All right, so you may carry up to 10 times your body. Okay, we'll get into body type now. We got that done. So next up, we're going to do the save, the body type modifier, and then we'll be able to figure out how much you can lift from that. So your save is actually just your body. Right, where is it? Your character save number is a value equal to your body type. To make saves, you must roll a value 1d10 equal to or lower than this number. So, and body type points. Strength, endurance, constitution are all based on character's body type. Determines how much damage you can take in wounds, how much you can lift or carry, how far you can throw, how well you recover from shock, and how much additional damage you cause with physical attacks. Body type is important to all character types, but to solos, rocker boys, and nomads most of all. So my body is only 3. That makes me weak. So, save number is 3. Weak. Right? Number equal to your body type. And then your body type modifier. Not all people take damage the same way. For example, it takes a lot more damage to stop Arnold the Terminator than it does Arnold the Nerd. This is reflected by the body type modifier. The special bonus is used by your character to reduce the effects of damage. Its body type modifier is subtracted from any damage your character takes in combat. So, being that Smiling Jack Napier is weak, come over here. Body type modifier is -1. also deadlift 40 times your body type in kilograms. Body type being 3, weak, 3 times 40, 120, right? 40, 80, 120. So, yeah, he's pretty weak right off the bat, like that. Right off the bat. Extra points for any of those who get that joke. I know Jimmy will. Okay. Boom. Next up is my favorite part of making a character in Cyberpunk 2020. Your life path. This is where you're going to figure out your style, your background, your family history, your personal history. And, I mean, obviously, it's your game, right? You talk to your GM, you could just make up whatever you want. Absolutely, of course. But the book I'm about to show you gives really cool, like a flowchart kind of system to run you through it. So let's get into it. We need a D10 once again. Oh, give me 1 second. I might have a better cup than a fucking candle. Hell yeah. A painting water cup, right? That'll work. That will work. Red dye again. Now, dress and personal style, as it says, that's your dress and personal style. That's something everybody gets to choose for themselves, more or less. So, as far as I'm concerned, for my group, my games we're going to be playing with this, we can just pick whatever you want, right? But you could simply roll your way through this and see what it says, which is what we're going to do with Smiling Jack Napier. Okay, so let's see what kind of clothes he likes to wear. 10. Bag lady chic. I'm not really sure what that means. I feel like it means like kind of homeless dress. So that's what we're going to go with. Dresses like a hobo. His hairstyle. 2. Long and ratty. Going along with the hobo aesthetic. His affectations. 7. Where's my damn mouse? There we go. Boom. Long fingernails. Maybe he has a coke habit. Cool. Ethnicity, we'll just call him white. Oh, you know, no, I forgot. There is actually a little chart here. We'll roll for his ethnicity. That is 9. Central South American. Spanish or Portuguese. Let's see. 1 through 5 Spanish, 6 to 10 Portuguese. 3 Spanish. He's Espanol. as such, he speaks Spanish. Spanglish. He speaks Spanglish. I don't know if that's a language. I'll just say English. Alright. Cool. So now that we got that out of the way. Oh, here you got some common street slang. Some common terms of the 21st century. That's always good to know. Let's see, a chumbada is a neo-Afro-American slang for a friend, family member. Chipping in to buy cyberware for the first time, or to cast your lot with a group, or to connect with a machine. That's a data term. Street corner information machine with a screen, net inputs, and keyboard. Kind of like you saw in Demolition Man. Let's see. Flatline. To kill. A dead person or thing. Output. Boyfriend. Okay. Well, there you go. Little bonus Cyberpunk Urban Dictionary for you. Okay, so family background. Who are you? Where'd you come from? Everybody on the street has a story and a past that they're trying to live with. What's yours? Okay, you start here at family ranking, and you just follow your way through like a choose your own adventure book. Family ranking 4. It's in a nomad pack. There we go. Move on to the parents chart. That's 6. 1 through 6, both parents are living. If it was 7 through 10, something had happened to one or both parents, and you go to a different chart. But both parents are living, so I go to family status. This chart here. This one here is something happened to your parents. Let's see, I rolled a 6. 1 through 6, family status in danger, and you risk losing everything if you haven't already. And then I go to family tragedy, which is this chart here. If it was 7 through 10, family status is okay, even if parents are missing or dead, and you go to childhood environment. But with what we got, we go to family tragedy first. So let's see. Family in danger. Risk losing everything. You see how, like, even just this here, it's already starting to form a narrative. Right? This is so cool to me. I love it. Alright, so let's see what this family tragedy is. 8. Your family was scattered to the winds due to misfortune. Ooh. Due to misfortune. Alright, so now we go to childhood environment. Nine. Your childhood was in an aquatic pirate pack. Okay. Okay. Very interesting. Very interesting so far. All right. So now we move on to siblings. After that chart, you may have up to 7 brothers or sisters. Roll 1d10. 1 through 7 is equal to the number of siblings you have. On 8 through 10, you are an only child. For each brother or sister, roll 1d10. Even is male, odd is female. So let's see what this gives us. 7. Wow, okay. 7 brothers and sisters. All right, 1 is even is male. 2, female. 3, female. 4, male. 2 and 2. 5, female. 6, male. 3 and 3, female. 3, male. 4, female. Oh, that little chart's for. And now you roll for your age relative to yourself on those. 1 through 5 is older, 6 through 9 is younger, and 10 is a twin. And for each one, you roll how they feel about you. So, number 1. Let's see. 4, he's older. 6, neutral. Sibling 2, brother. Older brother. 7, hero worships. Interesting. We have 2 females, 2 sisters. That's 5. It's older. 4, she likes you. Next one. 2 is older. 5, they're neutral. Okay. And another brother. 4, older. 5, he's neutral. And then the last sister. 2, older. 2, dislikes you. Okay. All right. Well, how about that? Well, we got we got the siblings figured out. Now, what I would do with that information is, I mean, you could leave it like that. It's very drab, very basic information, right? But what I intend to do with my character is for each one of the characters, the siblings, and the other characters that are created on the life path for my personal character, D-Man, I'm going to go through all of this life path for those characters and create this big web. And then I'm going to have my other players, do the same. I don't know if I've mentioned, I'm going to be running at least the first game, and then also playing my character, D-Man. D, as he is known to his girlfriend, or Demon, as everyone else pronounces D-Man. His friends, at least, just call him Demon. So, but yeah, I'm going to have them do the same, and then we're going to look at all of our webs and see where we can make these connections link up, right? And then from there, boom, you can see how much of a narrative we have already just with what we've done. Imagine how much of the narrative is written with making this web with all my fellow players. It's going to be incredible. I'm really excited to do that. So we'll be doing that soon. And yeah, I'll let you know how it goes. We'll be posting the videos of the gameplay. Probably not the session 0 where everybody else is making their characters. We'll oh, he's gonna start getting crazy. Dixon. Hey, psycho boy. Little crazy head. Anyways, moving right along. We're going to do this for our character, Smiling Jack Napier. Not his connections, though. We're not going to build that web out like I was telling you. I haven't read the book actually suggesting that. It's just an idea I had on my own that makes sense to me. So, alright, now motivations. What makes you tick? Will you back up your friends or go for the main chance? What's important to you? Well, let's talk about your personality traits, Smiling Jack Napier. 4. Moody, brash, and headstrong. Alright. Moving to the next chart. Person you value the most. 7. A teacher or mentor. What was that clown's name? I'll get to that. I'll figure that out later. Don't y'all worry your pretty little heads. Alright. What does Smiling Jack Napier value the most? 6. Vengeance. Okay. Crazy boy. 1 second. He knows he's not allowed up there. That's why he did it. Hey. There you go. Oh, he's such a punk. Such a punk. Alright. So, next up, let's see how Smiling Jack Napier feels about most people. 2. I hate almost everyone. 3. People are wonderful. Wipe them all out and give the place to the cockroaches. People are obstacles to be destroyed if they cross me. That's how D-Man feels about most people. Alright, so now we move on to life events. Right? Now this is really cool too. So you know where you came from and what you look like. Now let's take a look at the major events that made you what you are. Roll 2d6 plus 16 to determine your character's age, or pick any age 16 or greater. We'll roll for it. Alright, 7 plus 16, 4, 23. He's 23. Okay. I think there's actually a place. 23-year-old. Alright. So one event for each year after age 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright. So for each year of your character's life past age 16, you roll 1d10 and follow the chart below. We're getting pretty good at this. Alright, 1. 1 through 3 is big problems, big wins. 4 through 6, friends and enemies. 7 through 8, romantic involvement. And 9 through 10, nothing happened that year. Boring. But first up, we got big problems, big wins. Living on the edge means taking big risks. This year, you took some serious chances. Did it pay off? Or did you go down in the street? Roll 1d10. On an even, you scored big. On an odd, you took a hit. We'll read these other ones first. Friends and enemies. Living on the edge means you don't do things halfway. Your friends are tight, your enemies ruthless. If you're here, it's because your social life took a major turn. For the worse, this year. Roll 1d10. 1 through 5, you made a friend. 6 through 10, you made an enemy. And then romantic life. There's more to life than just combat and bad breaks. Romance is also part of living on the edge. If you're here, you had some romantic action as your major event this year. Start by finding out how it worked out below. And then once again, the familiar flow chart. So, first roll for Smiling Jack was 1, big problems, big wins. So we roll again. Even, you scored big. Odd, you took a hit. What is that? 9, took a hit. So you roll on the disaster strikes chart. 8, hunted by the law. You're hunted by the law for crimes you may or may not have committed. Your choice. Roll 1d10. 1 through 3, only a couple local cops want you. 4 through 6, it's the entire local force. 7 through 8, it's the staties or militia. 9 through 10, it's FBI or equivalent national police force. Let's find out, Jack. Four through 6, it's the entire local force. Oh, he definitely committed the crimes, by the way. Hunted by a local police force. Guilty as fudge. All right. So now you roll for what you're going to do about it. 3. 3 to 4. Live it down and try to forget it. Okay? Let's see. Live it down. Alright, cool. Whatever. Alright. So you go back to the life events chart and start again for the next one. Alright, 2. Big problems, big wins. Again. Even, you scored big. Odd, you took a hit. Even. Scored big. 0. 10. Find a combat teacher. Oh, okay. That's the most valued person. You knew, right? Add +1 to any weapon skill with the exception of martial arts or brawling, or begin a new combat skill at +2. And then boom, that's that. Found combat teacher. Let's see. +1 to skill. +2 to new. Alright. Boom. That's that. Number 3. 1. Big problems, big wins. Let's do that. Alright. 7. Took a hit. 6. Lover, friend, or relative killed. You lost somebody you really cared about. 1 through 5, they died accidentally. 6 through 8, they were murdered by unknown parties. 9 through 10, they were murdered and you know who did it. You just need the proof. 8. Relative, murdered, unknown killer. Unknown Caniller. Delicious iced coffee. Okay, so what are we going to do about it? 6. Hunt down those responsible and make them pay. Fuck yes. Revenge! Next event. Number 1. Big problems, big wins. Even. It's a win. 6. Powerful corporate exec owes you 1 favor. Wow. Corpo scum owes you 1 favor. Oh yeah, kitty? I know. Fuck those corpo scums. It's good to have them under your thumb, though. Nice. Alright. Back to life events. 8. Romantic involvement. Okay. Let's see. See how it worked out. 10. Fast dates, or fast affairs and hot dates. Go back to life events. Had a fuck buddy. All right. Go you, Smiling Jack. Got you something to smile about. Romantic involvement. See how it worked out. 4. 1 through 4. Happy love affair. Go back to life events. Okay. Kept dating. Fuck buddy. All right. And the last one. 7. Romantic involvement. Okay, let's see how it happened. See how it went. 10. Fast affairs and hot dates. Go back to life events. 'Friend zoned it. Got another fuck buddy. Okay, and there you have it. Life events. How about that? That's kind of how it went, I think, a lot. All right, so now is when, excuse me, it begins. You got the aesthetics of your character, you got the background and history of your character. Now you got the skills, the meat of your character, as it were. Now, I'm not going to go over skill checks and all that in this video. We'll do that later on in the tutorial of how to play Cyberpunk once you have your character, I guess. So, all right, so you got 2 types of starting skills: your career skill packages and pickup skills. Career skill package is a group of skills known by your character as part of his or her career. They're basics. Rockers know how to play instruments, solos know how to shoot guns, etc. Starting character receives 40 points to distribute among his 10 career skills. He may not use these points on his pickup skills, although he can choose to use future improvement points to improve career skill at any later time. You're not to put your points into all your career skills, but it's a good idea because you never know, right? So, boom, 40 skills right off the bat, 40 points right off the bat. And he's a solo, right? So here's your career skill list on page 44 of the Cyberpunk source book. And these are the skills available through the career skills list. Now, your combat sense, that's going to be his special ability, right? The skill is usable only by specific character roles. For example, charismatic leaders can only be used by rockers. Only cops can use authority. Only solos can use combat sense. Medias use credibility. Nomads use family. Fixers use street deal. Corporate use resources. Medtechs use medical tech. Techies use jury rig. Netrunner uses interface. Okay. Now, one of the career skills you buy at this point, it has to be your special ability. So that has to be at least 1 point in that. But the rest of the 9 points can go anywhere in all 10 of those, distributed as you will. So, where was it? Combat sense. Yeah, we're just gonna do 4 points in each one of them. Each one of those skills, real quick. Now, for this character sheet, you'll notice these boxes next to there. If you gain the skill points by using chips, it's chipware. You can it's like a computer chip you can buy, stick in your slot, and you gain skills from it. If you watch Edge Runner, you saw the kid had like a kung fu chipware set, and he was able to like just had muscle memory. It taught him kung fu, that kind of thing. So you would mark an X in the box if you only had that skill from your chipware, because that would be temporary in a sense. You could take it out and then you would lose those skills, but you could put something else in, put that back in later, etc. But we're not getting into that right now. We're just the basic skills. So let's go through the rest of them. Awareness, notice. 4. Where was it? Holy crap. Handgun, brawling or martial arts. 4. Handgun. 4. Melee, weapons tech, rifle. Weapons tech. Where's weapons tech, do you think? Wow, am I just being dumb? Weaponsmith. It says weapons tech, doesn't it? Weapons tech. Tech. I think it means weaponsmith. This is perhaps an outdated sheet. That's the best I can think. I don't see anything else that says weapons tech. Tech, basic tech. Yeah. Demolitions. Yep, there we go. Weaponsmith. Makes sense to me. Depending on the weapon, it might be more of a techie than a weaponsmith anyways, you know? Laser gun and a ballistic pistol are 2 different classes of weapons. Okay, let's see. Rifle, athletics, submachine gun, and stealth. Rifle, submachine gun, stealth, athletics. Oh, there we go. And it's the 40 points for the career skills. And here on 45, page 45, you got the master skill list. So next up are your pickup skills. So these are skills the character has learned in the course of knocking around, living his or her life. Characters determine their starting skills for these, or their starting points for these skills by adding their reflexes and intelligence stats. So for example, Smilin' Jack as 3. No, what is it? Reflex and intelligence. Reflex is 3, intelligence is 6. So he has 9 pickup skills. Pickup skill points. Now, pickup skill points may not be used to increase your character's career skills. So these you have to use on other things. Okay? Okay. Let me go through. You have, let's see, from page 46 all the way through 53, you have descriptions of all the skills in the main Cyberpunk source book. It's the other source books, the supplements you buy, they'll have other stuff in them. But they'll include the rules for what they have. So, Smiling Jack here only has 9 points. So let's put it in. He's a solo. So let's put it in something like. Okay. He's got a motorcycle. And so he knows how to ride it. In fact, put 2 points in there. He knows how to ride it very well. You can react to immediate things he needs to. Can swerve out of the way if somebody cuts him off. Something like that. He's not going to get himself killed. Let's see. We're going to give him 2 points in Streetwise. If he's running from the cops, he needs to know the streets at least a little bit, right? He needs to have some connections. Let's see. So that's 4 points we've spent. He's got 2 more points. Nope. He's got 5 more points. It was 9. And, yeah, you know what? Screw it. Boom. Putting it in demolitions. Because why not? All 5 points. Oh, good times. Good times. I know this is cool. If you were to take martial arts, for example, this skill covers any type of trained fighting style using hands, feet, or specialized martial arts weapons. You must select a style of martial art and take a separate skill for each style. And the primary advantage to martial arts styles is that each one has what are called key attacks, attacks that reflect particular strengths of the style. Second advantage is styles that there's a damage bonus on attacks equal to the level of the martial arts skill. For example, a master with a plus 10 kung fu skill would add 10 points to his damage. This can be a formidable advantage, particularly in head strikes, which double damage. So that would be plus 20 damage right there, on top of whatever else. So you got Aikido, got Animal Kung Fu, Crane, Mantis, Tiger, Leopard, Dragon forms, got Boxing, Capoeira. No, what is that? Created by Caribbean slaves. This form combines dance-like movements with fast kicks and low line swing. Oh, okay, I know this. This is like Eddie Gordo from Tekken. It is relatively unknown form and can be combined with dance moves to disguise its true power. Key attacks are punches, kicks, blocks, parries, dodges, and sweep trips. Choli Fu, descended directly from ancient Shaolin temples. This form combines powerful roundhouse blows, sweeping kicks. You got judo, karate, taekwondo, Thai kickboxing, wrestling, motorcycle. Required skill to operate motorcycles, cyberbikes, and other 2- and 3-wheeled vehicles. So, yep, we got that, right? We got that. But yeah, you got like play instrument in here, forgery. You can make fake documents if need be. My other character, D-Man, he's a netrunner. He has some forgery skills. But yeah, this is where you really need to dive into the book on your own, and start personalizing your character. You know, I can help you along the way, like give you the idea of how to do it, but it's really you got to do this bit, the rest of it on your own, or with your group doing it together, etc. So after character creation, there are 3 ways to accumulate improvement points. That's your XP. You can spend it on improving your skills, just like any game. There are 3 ways, being study and practice, being taught, or direct experience. So study and practice, it's sit down and read a book, right? But it's the hardest way. You have no idea where to begin. You're on your own with this. And you can only improve your skill from a level of 0. You can only improve a skill from a level of +0 to a level of +2. And in general, it takes about 1 day of book learning to gain 1 IP. Secondly, you can be taught. Get a combat teacher like Smiling Jack. So finding a teacher's first period of self-teaching or book learning. The teacher must have a higher level of skill than the student, and must have the time to teach. The teacher must average his skill in the subject to be taught with his teaching skill, then teach student up to that level of skill. So this really, it's you need to work with your referee to figure it out, especially with how long it takes. So it's usually 1 to 5 IP per lesson. And then, of course, experience. You just learn by doing. But the problem is with this way is the IP you get by doing things, that IP will go directly to those skills. It's like in Elder Scrolls. The more you do something, the better you get at that something. So for your referee, you have your GM. They have IP award guideline tables, how many points to give based on. Hi. Oh, little buddy over here. So, you know, there's lots of supplements, references, and things to work with here to give you an idea of what to expect, as well as help your GM figure out how to what to do. And we also got rules here for inventing new skills. You can also invent new skills to cover new needs, should you want to do so. First, convince your referee of the game to let you have that skill. And then you gotta talk the kitty out of playing with the dice, because that's just a mess waiting to happen. Excuse me. Alright, so you and the referee should work together to determine exactly what does this skill allow you to do, how, according to your character conception, did you acquire this skill, what are the specific limits of this skill, what can't I do with it, and what status is this skill connected to and why. And the referee should be careful not to make things too specific, like shooting a .45 caliber handgun with a laser sight. That's too specific. But at the same time, you can't be too general with it. Shoot anything well. Just shooting guns. That's not a skill. That's not specific enough for a skill. For this game, at least, right? Now, other than your skills, you have another kind of experience here. That's your reputation. That's I'll just briefly gloss over that. You're not really going to start with much reputation, if any at all, unless the narrative that you're playing requires it. You're playing somebody that's already well known. D-Man, the other guy I'm working on, he's not very well known, but he's got a little bit of reputation in his immediate bubble of life, you know. People in his immediate area, they've known of a few things he's done, so he's got a reputation level of one or two. I don't remember what at the moment, but Smiling Jack Napier. Let's take a look at this, right? Let's talk the narrative out. He committed a crime, and the entire police force is after him. So let's look at this. Level 1, anyone who was there at the time knows what happened. Level 2, stories have gotten around to your immediate friends. Level 3, all your coworkers and casual acquaintances know. Level 4, stories are all over the local area. Level 5, your name is recognized by others beyond your local area. Level 6, you are known on site by others beyond your local area. I think level 5. No, you know what? It's the local police force after him. Let's go level 4. He's got reputation level 4. Current improvement points, none. Humanity, actually, I think we glossed over that earlier, but your humanity is actually your empathy times 10. And we'll get into that in a few minutes as to what you need humanity for. But yeah, that's reputation. So the one big thing about reputation is that whenever a character encounters new people in new situations, his reputation may actually influence how they react to him. Sometimes it can be good, other times it can be bad, right? There is... hang on. There's rules for how to meet new people, whether or not they've heard of you. If you meet somebody you have history with, maybe bad history, bad blood, there's rules for doing a face down, so you can make somebody else back down instead of fighting them, etc., etc. But that breaks into actual gameplay, which we'll cover that in a different video. So next up is getting fitted for the future. This is talking about your equipment, your weapons, your personal effects. But first up, you got to figure out your starting funds, right? You can't have items, cyberware, weapons, gear, clothes. You can't have all that without money, especially not in a more bleak future than we're in today. So this is another part where it's really up to the individual GM, the guy running the game, guy, girl, or other, whatever. I've read where some groups, all the players just make up whatever narrative reason. Everybody has 10 grand to start with, right? But also in here, we have a chart to figure out your occupation and your salary. So what you do here is you find your role. So Smiling Jack is a solo. And then your special ability level, which was Combat Sense, level 4. Solo, 1 through 5. He's a street Ronin. Makes 2K a month. He's just really bottom level, doing odd jobs, really. Just hired gun. So making two grand a month. And then do. Okay, make 2 grand a month, and then you multiply this amount by 1d6 divided by 3 to determine the number of months you've been employed. Right. 1d6. 1 divided by 3 is 0.3. Smiling Jack has been at this 0.3 months. So that's 6 days. We'll call it 9 days. He's been at this 9 days. So he has not 2,000. We'll say he's got 500 bucks in his pocket. 500 euro bucks. But that leads us into an issue. What the hell is he going to be able to buy for 500 bucks with that starting gear, or with that starting money, right? So what I decided for my group, based on like what I said before, I read where some groups, they just start off with 10K, and that's that, right? Maybe you add your occupation into that afterwards. What I'm doing with my group is during character creation, for this bit only, you have a 10,000 euro budget. Emphasis, only during character creation. Spend every last cent of it you can right now, because you lose what you don't spend. Once the game starts, that's when you have in Smiling Jack's example, the 2K. Okay, he would, for buying the starting equipment, weapons, cyberware, all that stuff, 10,000 euro bucks. To me, that's justifying what he's been able to acquire during his life up until this point, right? Because he's had more than 500 bucks, hopefully, throughout his whole life. Him being 23, I mean, yeah, he's probably not a multi-millionaire by now, but, you know. So, hopefully that'll be able to buy him a few sets of clothes, a good weapon, some ammo, some basic equipment, and, maybe some cyberware. But then after that, yeah, he's dirt fucking poor. He's got some starting gear, and he's got 2 grand. So, I like that. I think it was really cool, dynamic. My buddy Rob, Nuki22, he seemed to like that. I'm going to see how the rest of my team feels about it when we do their character creation soon. So. Alright, well, now you figured out what... yeah, you figured out how much money you got to spend. Now, you gotta talk about encumbrance a little bit. In most cases, encumbrance is not going to be a big problem. You're traveling light. All your big stuff is going to be at your apartment, in your car, your hideout, whatever, wherever, right? You're going to be carrying, what's in your pockets, what's in your backpack, what's, the rifle in your hands, that kind of stuff. Yeah, we already talked about the lifting and all that, right? Yep, there we go. Smiling Jack can lift 120. We figured that out earlier through the body type modifier and the math and all that. And now here, this is just lists of various general equipments and their weights, so you can kind of keep track. But again, encumbrance should not really end up being a big problem in this game. I don't think. So now we're going to be talking about some things that you can spend your money on. First up is weapons, right? And in this game, we have lots of different kinds of weapons. You got your pistols, submachine guns, shotguns, rifles, heavy weapons. There's going to be your missiles, grenades, heavy cannons. You got your melee weapons. Those would be swords, daggers, knives, martial arts weapons, exotic weapons, bows, lasers, flechette pistols, air guns, microwave weapons, the real sci-fi weapons of the Cyberpunk universe. And as you go through the books and you find these charts full of weapons you can buy and use and all that, you're going to see these charts full of codes. Each weapon is represented by certain characteristics, such as its type, damage, range, accuracy, concealability, availability, and cost. It's recorded as weapon code to keep things short and simple, right? A profile of the weapon. So, first up, I'm just going to show you a few weapons, because I shouldn't really have to explain weapons in a game, I don't think. Too much. The concept of weapons. You use them to hurt things or kill things. But yeah, in Cyberpunk, the main book, we got this list to start with here. I got light auto pistols, medium auto pistols, heavy auto pistols, submachine guns, assault rifles, shotties, heavy weapons. But here are the codes I was talking about. P for pistol. That's all these. SMG for submachine gun. Rifle. Shotgun, SHT. And heavy for your heavy weapons. And got your exotics over here. EX. Melee. Not much of a code, it just says melee. But after that, after your type, you got your weapon accuracy. Now, some of these are cheap pieces of shit. They have, -1 on their accuracy. Some of these are okay. They're fine right off the shelf. They're no modifier on the accuracy. Some of them are really good quality. That would be your get a +1 accuracy on it. But then also, like, your automatics here, your Mac 14 or whatever. That might not necessarily be the most accurate weapon in the world, no matter what condition it is. It's automatic, little fucking SMG. So, that accounts for a little bit of accuracy lost as well. After that, you have concealability, which, let's go up here. That's how easily the weapon can be hidden until needed. You don't need to be walking around the streets of Night City with a shotgun on your back like this. You're probably going to get jumped and murdered and eaten. And somebody else is going to take your shotgun. So, to keep a low profile, you keep your shoulder or your coat, your gun in your jacket or in a holster or something. The codes for that would be P, it couldn't fit in your pocket, your pants, leg, sleeve. If it's J, it'll be in a jacket, coat, or shoulder rig. L, it'll be a long coat, trench coat. N, can't be hidden. It's just too damn big. You can't hide a rocket launcher no matter how hard you try. I'm sorry. Next up is your availability. And it's just how easily you can find it. Can you find it at any corner store, or do you need to know, like, a super black market connect to be able to get it? And then you have the rules for the damage. Like, for example, this budget arm C13, roll 1d6. Alright? And then it'll tell you the type of damage, or the type of ammo it uses. That particular gun uses a 5mm. Number of shots in the standard magazine. So on that one, it'll hold 8 rounds. your rate of fire, how many shots the weapon can fire in a single combat round. For instance, this one can fire 2. And then the reliability of the weapon. This game is so in-depth, it tracks whether or not your gun jammed, right? Now this particular one, ST, it's standard. Then you got very reliable, VR. And then you got unreliable, that's UR. Jeez, kitties, quit being crazy. So that just gives you an example of how in-depth this can be. And just, again, you need to read this all, go through it all for yourself when you're making a character. Like, I would honestly suggest that each group get like a physical copy of the source book, whatever source books you're using, and honestly probably a copy of the PDF that you can hand to all the players, and you have them work on that on their own time. Whether or not they're going to do that, that's between you and your players. Yeah, you got some more generic melee weapons here: club knife, sword, axe. Got some oriental weapons: nunchaku, naginata, shuriken, switchblade, brass knuckles. Yeah, I need some brass knuckles. I like brass knuckles. And here you got a chart for buying ammo. Box of 100 rounds of light pistol, light SMG. That's 15 euro bucks. Some options: silencer, 100 euro bucks. Holster, all types of holsters are 20 bucks. That's not true. Shoulder sling, 5 bucks. You got some graphics here, really cool stuff. And you got some rules for some old guns, old collectible stuff. Old Combat Magnum, Colt 45 Peacemaker. Hell yeah, the gun that won the West. The 45 was the most common U.S. sidearm throughout the 1800s. Single action weapon, it must be cocked before firing, although later models had a flattened hammer, allowing the gun to be fired by fanning the hammer. That's really cool. Colt 38 Detective, 357 Derringer Uzi, Mac 10, MP5, Thompson. Yeah, Tommy gun in here, man. FALs, AK-47s, M16s, Steyr AUGs. And then, of course, after weapons, you want to talk about armor, right? Yeah, to look at like what kind of armor it is, your stopping power, it's how much damage it can stop. Again, you need to dive into it on your own because it's very in-depth. The encumbrance value, you know, if you're wearing really, really heavy armor, you're not going to be doing some, you know, Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee shit. So, and then, of course, following pages, there's just all sorts of, like here, you got clothes. Like, for me, my players, I'm like, D-Man, he's got 3 sets of clothes. All right, so he's not a complete and total scrub. Although he is dirt poor living in the combat zone. I mean, he's got a few different pairs of underwear. You know, he's not disgusting. So I'm gonna try and have some sinks like that to keep things kind of I don't know, on the side of realism. And you got your tops, you got your jacket. If you want to conceal your weapon, you need a jacket, right? Well, there you go. Mirror shades. You can't play Cyberpunk if you don't have mirror shades. So, I mean, that should just come with every character for free, I think. But for the sim aspect, there you go. You can get the cheap-ass corner store ones for $5 or the designer ones for 50. Different classes. You got different tools here. Cutting tool, breaking and entering tools, electronic tools, glow stick, rope. Personal electronics here, you know, digital camera, pocket TV, pocket computers, laptops, cell phones, binoculars, vehicles over here, different subscriptions. It's a trauma team account. You get in trouble, they'll come rescue you. So it's again, the rest of this is all very personal to your character, and it's this game definitely will require a session 0. I'll tell you that much. So, and we're gonna go over cyberware real quick, and then that's really gonna be it for this video. Because, yeah, the rest is really like playing the game. So, cyberware, in case you don't know, it's adding technology into your body. Different effects. You could have a laser pop out of your arm and, shoot. You could have a lockpick pop out of your finger. You could have a computer in your head. You could have a replacement heart that works 3 times better. You could have dermal plating armor for skin. You could have leg replacements that make you run 100 miles an hour and jump 300 feet in the air like nothing. And there's all sorts of reasons. It's not all just tactical shit. Some of it's just for cool factor. Hip and fashion. A big part of the whole cyberpunk genre and trope. It's very flashy. It's very fashion, style. Style over substance is a big, big part of cyberpunk culture. But see, there's a trade-off, right? The more tech you add into your body, the less human you are. If you become an Atom Smasher type character, how much of you is actually left? Are you anything but a psychotic weapon? And cyberpsychosis is a philosophical question that tries to address that, really. So your empathy, we talked about that before. Empathy and humanity. As you get cyberware, then neuralware and bioware, all that stuff. As you add tech to your body, it costs you, the money aspect of the technology and the procedure to get it implanted in your body. It'll cost you, probably some recovery downtime depending on how invasive the surgery is. And it'll also cost you a piece of your humanity. You'll have an actual numbered humanity cost. And going back to the character sheet, your humanity is your empathy times 10. So in Smile and Jack's case, empathy is 7, humanity is 70. So let me just show you a few things here. So let's look at neuralware here. So a cyber modem link allows direct connection to a cyber modem. That's something Netrunner needs. Okay, it's going to cost you $100. Okay. This is the prerequisite here for this category. You need a basic processor, must have for all systems. Okay, fine. That'll cost you $1,000. Okay, fine. Now that humanity loss will cost you 1d6. You roll a d6. Oh, wait, I got that mixed up here. So let's say we were putting that basic processor. It would cost Smile and Jack 5 humanity points, actually. And then from there, we could put in the cyber modem link, which would cost another 100. and it would be another 1 point. So that's 6 points humanity we're already down. So that puts us at 64, right? And let's see. We'll give him a Mr. Stud sexual implant for all that banging he does. And it's just cyber placed in the body, no real prerequisite. That's what that would be called. So, yeah, he gets that put in. Cost 300. Cost 2d6. What are you doing? No, stop. Right. So getting a 10-inch dick costs him another 5 humanity. At this point, he is 59. All right, now let's give him some Wolverine claws also. That's 600 bucks. 3d6 plus 1. Well, there's 2. 4, 6. So that's 10. Plus 4, 14, 15. That puts him at 44. He's already turning into a piece of shit, right? Having trouble to relate to people, getting along with others. So, you know, you get the idea there. Cyberware, it's not just a money cost. It's going to cost you a piece of yourself. So that's why full Borgs like Atom Smasher are so rare. It's weird for him to be as resistant as he is. But there's lore stuff behind that. Have fun reading the book. You know. But yeah, I hope you get the basic concept of how to make a character from this. I'm sorry I can't do any more hand holding than I already am, but this is pretty much as far as I've been able to get into my journey so far into the Cyberpunk game. But yeah, I no intention of stopping. I'm gonna keep running with it, learn the game. It's skill checks, basic skill checks seem pretty damn easy actually. So I'm not worried about that. It's combat and net running that I think are going to be the most challenging. But we're going to get through it together, and we're going to end up having a ton of fun with it, right? I don't see any other way except forward. So, all right, folks. Thank you so much for joining me. This was cool. This is the first type of this video, or this is the first one of this kind of video that I have done. I was kind of inspired by our buddy Jimmy. He's been doing the World of Darkness videos lately on our Level Select YouTube channel. Hopefully he will be editing this one and putting it up. I hope it's good enough quality for that. And, yeah. I'll see you in the streets, chums. So next time, happy gaming. Keep your head on a swivel, huh?